welcome. We haven't had a project spotlight for a very long time. And tonight or today, wherever you are looking at this video, I'm going to introduce the lovely Shira Adler.
Thank,
Welcome, Shira.
thank you,
Now,
Sweta.
now Shira is a great benevolent humanitarian. So we're going to find out a little bit about what she's been up to and how she's planning to move forward it. So it's over to you, Shira.
Thank you very much. And darling, I have missed you so. I feel that we've spoken. It feels as though it were a minute ago and a lifetime ago. And I think that is truly the energy that a lot of us is feeling right now as we've crossed into this new secular version of a timeline called 2025 by some calendar, some version of some calendar, and some timeline and some dimensionality. There we are. We are in this now moment, and it is an extraordinary moment because it also does mean that we got through last year, and yet we are still in the being and the doing of the energy that we created long before last year by physical calendar standards. So I just missed you. I'm glad to be here. Thank you. And the beautiful thing is, while this interview and this conversation will be up on my YouTube channel at Synergy Show, it is also really designed for us to overlap again our concentric circles and to bring together our communities and all of the people with whom we've had the pleasure and honor of connecting with consciously for quite some time.
Yes. An eternity, it seems like.
I know. I remember literally the first time I think I interviewed you was almost 2 years ago now.
Yeah.
And the blip, how was that 2 years? Well, time isn't really a thing, but it's what we notice and feel, right? How we acknowledge it. So, except for a few extra pounds, I got my roots done, so it's fine. We're just here we are, here we are, here we are. And so where are we really? And I'm actually doing this without, a filter on, and this is my actual environment. This is what it's been like for me to work. I ended up over the last couple of years on the Seeds of Light tour, and it plopped me inevitably, inexplicably drawn to the middle of North Carolina, which as a geographical region has seen a lot of challenges with recent weather issues that have affected and still have many, many beautiful humans displaced and needing support as we're now entering at the time of this recording the winter months. Here we are in January of 2025. So there is a part of my heart that even while I sit in the middle of this state, it is extending its tendrils and its energetic reach to so many who still need help in this now moment. And while we are, quote, everybody's waiting for something on some level. I'm waiting for life to get easier. I'm waiting for my manifestations to come in and be felt more viscerally. I'm waiting for the new job. I'm waiting for the proposal. Everybody is in a state of excited anticipation about something. That is, to me, part of what being a spiritual being having this human experience is all about. What are you excited about? What are you waiting for? What do you feel is just out of reach? And then compare that and sit in the truth of remembering who you truly are and compare it and just honor it in the contrast or in the balance, maybe, of, well, where are you right now? What are we doing now? What have we been doing? And see where those pieces meet, because that's very important to honor who we already are and what we've already been doing. And then it's not about the waiting, it's just the growth of it, as opposed to, I can't get started. And a lot of us feel, and we hear a lot of conversations around the concept of New Year's resolution. Well, this year I'm going to start blah, blah, blah. I'm going to be healthier. I'm going to, get off that dating site, or I'm going to join a dating site. And oh, thank God, I'm so over that part. And, lots of things that we want to set as new challenges. For me personally, this is my environment. This is where I've worked and created and dreamed and meditated and stayed very busy working on the physical, tangible products that I actually started creating and have had available. They represent the fundamental, the 3D into 5D transition that a lot of us feel that we're caught up in. we're not waiting to achieve the next level of vibration. We're already in both levels of vibration. And that's something I really think is important to stress right now. Whatever you think you want to aspire to create and be and do, you're already in it now because you've had the thought, you've had the desire, you probably have already taken inspired action towards that manifestation. And I realized over this last crazy year, as it's felt to me, I created a lot already. I
Yeah.
reformulated, I rejoined, I disintegrated and reintegrated whole new levels of what I've already been for a very long time. So that's my brand. The foundation of everything I'm building is still based in physical, tangible products that speak to vibrational wellness so that I have something to offer other people to help them in whatever their process, whatever their journey, whatever their experience already is already calling for, has been calling for. Now, I've already been in the making and the doing. So it's not about waiting for anything. It's just being excited about the growing into more, growing into more. That's really what it's been about. And I love what I do. And what I do is first and foremost sharing and connecting and looking to build ecosystems of energy and all of that. And it's offering really great, basic, foundational, vibrational wellness products. These are now identified as luxury for skin, soul, and senses. Because
Oh,
that's
that's
mental.
lovely.
Yeah, right? I mean, it just,
Lovely.
channeled that.
Yes, we're so good at sort of manifesting the less enjoyable. So it's time to turn that around and, manifest the enjoyable, the fun, the progress, the growth.
The tangible qualities of that, of
Mm.
the experience itself. I think sometimes we get really caught in as soon as we get to, and we've heard a lot of channels talking about this recently. And by channels, I mean the social media channels and actual channels, people like Sky and Bashar and Esther Hicks and Abraham and all of that. And we're all channels in our way from our own guidance. And I'll actually admit something for the first time on a video. I don't think I've ever actually relayed this publicly. I used to be a full body channel for a period of time,
Wow.
Council of Light. And I'm actually comfortable now saying that. And for years, I was I'd keep that pretty private. And here's why. I think that, well, I've always remained a channel. We all have our guidance. And while it was verified, and I worked with some people, and I asked every higher level psychic and medium, and my first teacher, Sarah, in New York, and all of that, everybody was like, "Wow, Shira, great, good, stay with it." At that time, this was years ago, it actually was not as feeling as comfortable for me to remain in that form because I'm also back then and still am, I'm a mother. I'm a grounded, physical, 3D based being who had responsibilities. And to be honest, the first time I did that, and Shira left her body and other stuff, the Council of Light was speaking. I was pretty wiped out. I felt pretty exhausted and I fell asleep for 3 hours. And I was a single mom raising two young kids. Well, it just wasn't going to work for me in that way.
No,
And so part of what I asked then and have revisited, and now I'm finding continually my way has emerged where, of course, I always stay in connection with Council of Light and other guides and teachers. I became a certified past life regressionist. I had a private practice. I've worked many sessions. I am a spiritual counselor. There are many titles and words that can be used to describe what I've done and what I do. And I made the products. They were around at the same time. So I just kept finding ways of, I call it cosmic zhuzhing, putting it together in something that would be easy to use, to access, to understand, and to integrate. Because again, we are not just here to become something more and better in the future as if we're not already. We are already all that. And so the recent conversations through these channels and channelers or channels is just work on the vibrational mix, work on the vibration. So how do
yeah,
we do that? And that's what you just said. We enjoy it. We enjoy whatever we've already created. We enjoy what we do and why we do it, and we do it in loving gratitude. And whether it's working in a field, staying at home, taking care of those children, building a foundation, being an advocate, doesn't matter what the job is, selling furniture, it absolutely makes no difference what you physically do. It's the joy and the heart-centeredness in which you do it. And these products, I took a couple years to rebuild them, to reformulate, to have a phoenix rising moment. As the external experiences in my environment changed, the core of what I'm doing has never changed. It's been there. And I channel energy into all the products.
Lovely.
That's what vibrational wellness really is. That's what luxury for the skin and soul and senses really is. It's about, I love this body. I love this thing called human, even at times when it feels excruciatingly difficult. I'm so into all of it. And I'm 5D. I'm probably also already 12D. I just don't put my consciousness there often because I kind of enjoy this little wiggle room between 3 to 5, which is really where most of us identify right now.
Yes.
And we all have something to offer in that space. There are moments we're a little heavier into the 3D side. There are moments where we find ourselves trancing out lightly into the 5D side, And then I create stuff to help in the middle of all of it. That's really what I do. It's what I've done. It's what I'm going to keep doing. I'm just going to expand the with whom, where. Can't wait to come over to your side of the pond and work with friends in the UK and in South Africa and in Israel and, all of these lands by whatever names they might end up being. Canada might be the 51st state. I don't know. We don't know what it's going to look like.
No.
And now some people are probably listening to this going, what'd she just say? I feel like,
Yeah.
so we'll stay away from that for the time being, but it's a thing. Could be a thing. So that's really what these always were. So I will take a minute and ask me any questions because I want people to understand how these work. We understand that we are spiritual beings having a human experience. So that means that we are mind, body, and spirit. We are skin, soul, and senses. That's just another way of describing the fields and being all dimensional, if we will. So the way to affect change very simply and quickly on all of those fields is one of the oldest healing modalities on the planet, and that's aromatherapy. That's the first one, and we've been using it for as long as we've had this species called human life here. So we make these blends, and each blend is a combination of 4 or 5 essential oils, which have an immediate effect from that limbic or that reptilian brain all the way through the most advanced forms of our field. It just speaks to all of it right away. If you can smell it, if it lands in the mucosal membrane lining, that's just a fancy way of saying the inside of your nose, then you're feeling it. If the sense of smell is the first sense to develop in the human body. And that's why the terpenes, the essential oils, those chemical compounds, those molecules, as they land, they do transport and open and integrate and invite this transformational change. That's why it works the way it works. When people say, I also work in hemp, that hemp is scary, CBD, the cannabis, there's a lot of confusion around that. Yes, I wrote the book, The ABCs of CBD, The Essential Guide. Get that on Amazon. It has a lot of information on it. There is nothing ever to fear from a plant unless your system and your belief set holds a reason to be afraid of something, because that's whether you call it a placebo effect or anything else. Sure, anything can affect you in any way if you have a reason for it to do that. And that means you can also change your belief set and therefore change the effect anything can have in any way on your system. So even though this is foundationally aromatherapy, it also has an isolate that's just a specific isolated molecular compound of CBD, which is a cannabinoid, one of many in the grouping of compounds called cannabinoids. And that CBD is just a little bit of a boost to the terpenes, the essential oils, the parts of the plants that have a smell. So when you're using it, It's providing benefits of all of that plant essence in the way the plant was designed to intersect with the human physiology and biochemistry. And it affects your mood. So when people are afraid of cannabis and hemp, it's often because they say it's psychoactive. Well, that's actually an incorrect term for it, because all plant essences, if it has a smell, and when you smell it, it alters your mood, like lavender. Lavender is psychoactive. It's relaxing. Mushrooms are psychoactive in a different way. They work through different aspects of your being and provide different response. So I'm just a huge fan of all things plant medicine, really. I just happen to specialize in this, and I have friends who specialize in other forms and other modalities, and it's all really the same thing, just different versions of it. So that's kind of how they work. You just open and you say, all right, I'm in a mood. Oh, I'm in a mood. And I'm feeling a little less than comfortable or relaxed, whatever's going on, wherever it's coming from. Okay, you just 1, 2, 3, pause, deep breath. I wish we had smell-o-vision. I'm sure it'll
Yep.
be available soon. But that's it. That's all it takes to immediately work through your fields and all dimensionally, because they are vibrationally charged, they're vibrationally amplified for what the compounds themselves contain. And it's taken years to develop these, to get these out. They have been out since 2011. I started this company before people knew about CBD or what they were. And then in 2016, I have to think about that. We're in trouble when we start talking jumps of like 5 or 10 years, I started working with CBD, with compounds like that, to do what's called modern alchemy, which is merging ancient plant wisdom with breakthrough science. We live in the world that has to honor everything that's available. And I've always been a big believer, being raised by a man who was a scientist, and half my family are PhDs in different things in the sciences. Science is beautiful. It was created by us, and it's offered through us, and it's for us. And it works with plants. It can be, when people want to do an extreme, we have to get rid of everything that's pharma related. We have to get rid of and only use this. There's no only in any version of life. There's just where you want to choose what works for you. And if you keep welcoming and inviting and bridging things, we'll find that we will be the creators of the most glorious of new technologies and advanced technologies and consciousness. And to me, these products just physically represent all of that. They carry pieces of all of that. So each spray has an effect, has an immediate impact. Clear is like wiping schmutz off a dirty window.
Right.
It lets the light of your soul shine brightly both directions so that it goes out, it receives. It's wonderful. It's like some smudging, like Native Americans, it has sage in it, right? So it's the same effect. So it dispels negative energy. It just lightens and cleanses the palette of your auric field. Is a good way of saying that for clear. And then
So that's a good alternative to the smudge stick and having a flame and so on. You just spray it and
yeah, right so the smells will lift off pretty quickly because they're 4 and 5 oils per blend. So you want to layer, feel it, smell it. And then within a few minutes, the smell is gone, but the energy lasts for hours
lovely.
because of how well what they are and the amplification of them. So if you spray them, I find in a doorway, they're good in a car too, of course, if you think about it. When you take phone calls and you're in a car and let's say the energy changed and now you're in a small enclosed physical space with a certain mood that shifted. So yes, use it in the car. Just don't keep the bottles in a car if it's too hot, because you don't want the temperature to elevate for the essential oils. They might cook a little bit and then they're not as powerful in that way. So that's how you use them and why you use them that way. Center is the spray for the antidote for the headless chicken moments.
Yes.
I mean,
Is
I
that
give
similar to the tired but wired feeling as well?
the tired but wired. Oh, I like that. Tired but wired. Yeah, exactly. That's a good way of, sure. I think that describes how most of us feel the majority of the time.
I
Yeah,
need a
just use
bucket
that one.
full of it.
Yeah, can I use that phrase? Tired but wired. Yeah.
Yes, definitely.
So you spray that one when you The way our emotional guidance system works, through the back here, generally speaking, there's an understanding or a lot of teachings that say it comes through and we feel the thought and we get that impulse of knowledge into our solar plexus chakra, which is our decision-making chakra. And that's where our system is speaking. And then it becomes a thought, fires through the synapses in the brain, et cetera. So, and then it becomes speech. And, so there's a nice little sequence. The center spray will center and ground you, and it allows that information relay system to be very unencumbered, very free, very specific and exact, and like lands right there. Ironically, I remember years ago using this on a vet. I was doing a really large show in New York City, Cannabis World Congress and Business Expo. And there was a vet who had some pretty severe, recognized as PTSD, which is a very common, especially in recent years, if we look at the level of what a lot of people use that nomenclature, PTSD. And I used clear first to just get rid of whatever. Also, it was a large, large, large venue, and the noise and the people and the density. So you can feel and sense when anxiety is rising for people because they kind of tend to tighten up and hold their bodies differently. And I used center after a little bit of clear. I just used clear on the booth, not on him, but he stepped into it. And then I specifically hit his field with the center and then the smile, because those were the two that I felt called. And you get used to them. They start to speak with you and you know which one you want to use. And I watched his whole body, the eyes shifted and his whole, and it just that little perceptible moment of relaxation, and the shoulders came down and the face relaxed and the eyes became, it was really quite beautiful. It's all we really need are just little nudges of that soft and subtle shift. So that's what center is great for. Kids, I remember when my kids were younger, they are at the time of this recording just shy of their 22nd and 24th birthdays. Happy birthday, my babies. And they were younger, and I used to bring, especially my daughter would work those shows with me and be running around and, I'm here to help. I'm like, trying to pay attention to where she is and all of that.
Yes.
But they both grew up with those sprays and use them pretty religiously. They still do. One is finishing her MFA in sculpture. As actually today is her first day. She's the youngest assistant professor at this university, very prominent art school in the Southeast United States. I'm so proud. So she uses it before she creates art.
Yes.
So center and inspire, which is the fourth spray, together. Open up so that you receive, you make your decisions, you remember your information, the knowledge comes through, especially if you're stressed about tests, as my kids really were back then. And then the inspire is for throat chakra, third eye. It's more focused from here to here. And that's this one. So you would use center and then you use inspire. So
Yep.
Yeah, they're all lovely, and they have the colors and the words. So all you have to do is, if you're really young, you just grab the color that speaks to you. They used to be Reiki and crystal charged. That's why the colors are actually not chakra related. They're crystal related. It's a different level, some of the work in them. And before a test or anything, center and inspire allows you to get that information, receive the knowledge or have it, and then communicate it effectively. A lot of times we know a lot, but then we feel stuck about how to express it.
Yes.
So whether it's a test, whether it's a speech, whether it's a public performance, communication of what you know and how solidly you know it. That's what center and inspire do. Nurture is interesting because it smells most, it's got the strongest smell. So what I tell people is, if ever there is a little bit of a, ooh, that feels strong, nurture is really the one that smells the strongest. And it has a foodie quality and it's intentional. There was an autistic young man who used it years ago, again, when I was first starting, and he called it Yummy Hug. Yummy Hug. And I was like, wow, spot on, because it does have a little bit of spice to it, like almost a flavor. And it is designed to wrap around and through the heart chakra, not to relax it, but actually to replenish and to rejuvenate. So when you're feeling emotionally depleted, people think, oh, I need to like calm and soothe the heart. Actually, very often the heart is feeling a little like, because it's always working. Our heart chakras are in constant energy of movement and offering, really, especially humanitarians, right? Where
Yes.
it's 24/7. So sometimes it's like giving a little to it. And that's what we need. So it's designed more for that, which means that it might, because it's like a kickstart as opposed to just a complete soothing quality, people go, whoa. And I say, okay, well, pull it further away from your face, use it a little bit higher on the auric field as opposed to right in front of your nose, and just build up that way. You play with these, you get to know them well, they get to know your system well, and in any given moment, your system is changing anyway, right? So it adjusts to your system and to you in every specific new moment. That's what's so cool about them. So that's nurture. And then the inspire we already went over. So the center and inspire, great before school. They are designed as a whole system, but you can use them in any order. As of late, a dear friend said she actually likes to put nurture at the very end, first to work through it and make all the changes and adjustments, and then have that heart open and ready. So it's really a personal preference and per your taste and how you're feeling it. And that's why they're, to me, pretty magical, because in any order, that many oils, I don't know of any other product series, metaphysically or not, that you could do without giving yourself a headache using too much or not enough. And it's pretty astonishing to have a series of 25 different oils that you can use together in a span of a minute. And I also have channeled mantras and meditations to go with them. If that's your jam, then those
Lovely.
are available as well. And of course, always channel your own, right? Whatever comes as part of your own spiritual practice or process. And the final one that, well, had been the final is smile. And smile was so called that, see, it's petite, the yellow one.
Mhm.
Smile is a mood uplifter and stabilizer. I call it the finishing spray because to me, it's the one that ties everything together cohesively through
Yes.
all the fields. In that way, it just keeps it all, and you're off and ready to go for the day in a way. So that's how those work and why they work. And I honestly feel that we are at a very, very critical time right now, a really beautiful, almost contrapuntal, so speaking in musical terms, of what's about to happen, where we are, which timeline, holding it all together, bursting forth into the new, still being exactly who and what we've always been. And then poof, that's really what these support and why they were designed. Even years ago when I had no idea what I was doing. And some days I still don't know what I'm doing. I just follow the guidance and it leads
Exactly.
to what I need.
Divine guidance.
I listen, I trust, I stay in flow, and I stay in gratitude. And that's honestly how I've done everything in my life, literally everything in my life. And that is the quality of what it is. So when all these new channels and conversations are saying, work on your vibration, they're really right. Everything else, we already really do know what to do and how to do it. We have all the tools available. Yes, we can learn new systems. Yes, there will be advanced technologies, but they're just in support of expanding that which we already are and what we've already been doing. This isn't new. It's just a new version of. Everything has already been created. Everything already exists. And some of what we are ready to leave behind, there's so much awakening happening in every nanosecond. It's joyful. It's really joyful to be a part of this. It's felt at times exhausting and challenging and different, and locations change, people change, environments change, and they're like, we're waiting for God to do it. Well, God is a part of you and you're a part of God, source, chi, energy, whatever, by whatever name, whether we identify it as Jesus, Yeshua, Christ consciousness, God, Hashem, uh, all of it, every version, every name. We're
Yeah,
all asking for the same thing, and it's just to connect and trust more and to see it show up a little faster. And the best way to do that is to know that we've already created it and to trust your own inner channel.
exactly.
Really what we're doing here. And these products are just designed to help that, and they're designed to help you if you don't speak any of that metaphysical language. And if you're just like, I got to get up and get the kids off to school and get to a job that I'm not loving. Okay, well, what do you love? Even on the way to the job that you don't love, what do you love? What makes you smile? What makes you happy? Focus on that. Give it an extra 17 seconds of thought. Use a spray and amplify, watch it show up in your environment and your experience, because these are vibrationally amplified. So I create tools and products to allow you to be the best of who you already are. And those shifts that you're seeking that you feel sometimes are elusive or outside of yourself, they're not outside of yourself, they're within. Sometimes we just need a little extra cosmic zhuzhing. There's that phrase again, just a little nudge in the right direction. And a little reminder, really, it's not even just a nudge, just a reminder, you know.
Exactly.
And I made a topical too, and I love this too. The jars are going to be changing soon, but this is my bliss butter. Look at that.
Yeah.
This stuff. Oh my gosh. Like, yeah, it's got 10 essential oils, whipped shea butter, base, all kinds of beautiful Ayurvedic herbs, mushroom adaptogen blend, plant-based silicone, really, really yummy stuff. And even pre-med bed and anti-aging. I don't like the word anti anything. Reverse aging. I've been in that process for a while. Nobody guesses my age. Again, that's why I wanted to show up with no filters, no artificial background. You
I
know,
think we need to call it youthin.
yes, babe, we're youthing.
Very youthin, yes.
Been youthing for a while now, and I kind of dig it. I'm excited for some more changes and certain things. And because there's always something fun to play with and change and make better. And, not because I'm dissatisfied, because I am satisfied and just want to keep going. But I
Exactly.
am technically in biological years on this planet and in this timeline, I'm 55. And that surprises folks. They're like,
Yes.
no way. I was like, yeah, way. Uh-huh.
I'm a
And
little bit ahead of you. Just a little bit.
a little bit. Yeah, but that's like, and my boyfriend has turned 50. I had to think about it a second. His birthday was literally 2 days ago, 58. Oh, he's so gonna love that I just outed his birthday on there. But, surprise, surprise, surprise. No, but it's joyful because he's youthing too, in a lot of ways. When you share an environment and an energy, and we all really are just fractals of each other as well, but that's a whole other, conversation. I saw a cute meme, actually, I think describes it really well when I try to explain this to people and why these products do what they do. And, but let's just think of us all as just versions of each other, but yet completely independent and autonomous and divinely sovereign and have free will and all this beautiful stuff. So we're the same, but we're all separate and need to be honored for that, right? And we all have our journeys and all that. Think of this as source is this big, beautiful, friendly looking blob of something, because that's how the meme, it appeared in the cartoon. It was this big blob and with like googly eyes, sweet googly eyes, friendly, smiling, big. So all you see is blob, eyes, smile, and then what looked like a leaf, like a nice long leaf. And the leaf had holes in it. And the blob took its little blob hand and pushed it up through the holes in this leaf. So all you saw were the tips of the fingers of this beautiful blob of source all thing. So it's still all part of one thing, but then all the little fingers were like, hello, hi, bonjour, shalom, and it was adorable. And I was like, oh yeah, it is literally the simplest and best way I could think to explain that which sometimes feels a little big, and why this is what it is and how. So when we talk about an other, like boyfriend, partner, good, bad, this person, that person, they, them, us, It's still one thing. It's just that there are different iterations and expressions and moods and temperaments and looks and energies and fun stuff to play with, and all should be honored as such. But it is kind of fun to honor, this is my form. This is my shell. My hair's looking pretty good today. I like this version. I'm going to change it over there. I like what that person's doing. Just see it, reflect it, take in the parts that you want, use the things that make your body, your physical form feel good and nurtured and lighter and youthful while we are youthing. I could not. I was like, it was trying to come out, right? And that brings to the last products, the new stuff that I have that I've spent over a year now developing. This is kind of fun. And again, they say that motherhood is the necessity, even what's that phrase of invention? Something like that. It means that when you have a strong enough need state, you get really creative and figure out how to accomplish
Exactly.
what your
Yeah.
system is going, oh, I so need this. So at my age in physical form, I went through that change thing that women do. And I find that in the general collective consciousness, I find in the marketplace, there is a gaping hole at times for natural wellness products that work on, let's honor the physical body, the hormonal levels. That is no joke. That is like a thing that we sometimes go through. And
Yes.
so I find that there was a need for a pre, peri, and post-menopausal product, which I guess technically means any woman of any age, because every woman's experience, like a 20-year-old could have the same mood swings depending on the reason for it as someone going through menopause, and it might look and feel the same. So we came up with these are the new Synergy Sensuals line. And here are the first two products that will be available. We are working on a third, which will be, we're going to go there with that another time.
Yes.
By Valentine's Day, it's a personal, intimate product that is useful for women in those phases. But the sensual butter and spray. So the spray will be another version of these five, the original Synergy sprays, but it's specific for this type of energy and what our physical and our Kundalini energies need, all of it. So it speaks to that aspect of the female experience, the woman experience in those transitions. And of course, with the bliss butter. So again, you're interacting and intersecting with a specific focus and intention. And that's really what they are. The rest of it, we got it. We know it.
Yes.
We can create it. We are creating it. We're in it. So I wanted things to help. And honestly, even before fuller, bigger projects, agritech ventures, the ecosystem called Eco Synergy, which is our new company, all of that is still in process and progress, going beautifully, will happen and be viscerally available as soon as it is. But in the meantime, these came first, and the last couple of years got really amplified, redone. That is my humanitarian project on one level. That's where it starts because it's something that I have right now to
Yes.
offer you right now and can get them out and would love help in getting them out because they can be formulated in a way where we can do parts of them here, depending what country, the location, the geography, we can pull the full spectrum hemp extract out of them if for shipping reasons or export reasons. They're designed to work in both directions, with or without them.
Yes.
Which is part of what I needed to work on because that's even harder to do. I want the added benefits of what the research indicates cannabinoids are good for, specifically anti-inflammatory qualities. But again, the way this is designed, if we think of what inflammation is, anything you can do to calm down the part of you that's feeling inflamed, whether it's your skin, your gastro, your muscle aches, it doesn't matter. It's a shared symptomatology, inflammation. It's the number one thing that our system, any part of our system is saying, this feels out of whack. It's getting blown up in a way that I would like to calm it down. It's just getting your attention. So it's still a benefit. But of course, when we think inflammation, we often do want to calm it down. So the ingredients, the way they work, And that's why the mantras are important. That's why these being crossover products, if you will, of metaphysical and physiological and biochemical. You have to have all of that in it. Otherwise, if you pull out an ingredient, it won't have the benefit. So your system knows which ingredients it's pulling and relying on more heavily in any given moment, and we can make them available without them. That will be a version for certain countries that don't love cannabinoids yet.
Yes.
Yet, as
We
I
know
go
what
out
you
the
mean.
world
Yeah.
and educate and say, let's all love hemp and understand it for what it is and the cannabis species and let go of the stigma. A little work in progress still for that. And that is a big part of my work. And it will feed into the larger agritech side of what we're doing here. But they also can be shipped. So we are looking for distribution. We are looking now and ready for really putting this out in a much, much larger scale. And there's no waiting on that. There's just the desire to do it and finding the people on the other corners of the globe who can recognize what these are and want to be a part of that. And I welcome that. And then from there, oh yes, we have a lot more to talk about as we unfold the larger scope of our projects to heal and to, but we're already healed. So even when I say that, it's the enjoyment of the process that
Yes.
that we're in this for now.
The journey and not necessarily the destination.
Yeah. We have great vibration awareness. Just keep going. I feel like a little cheerleader. Yay, you can. Let's go. Be it. Do it. You already are. Woohoo. I'm such a Pollyanna type, that's my absolute innate nature. And from that energy comes everything that I channel and create and offer. And it is my joy. It really, really, really is my joy. This stuff is good. It works. Clearly, I use a little bit as moisturizer. Oh, yeah. Coconut
Good.
oil to wash makeup off and not very much makeup. Would love it. We're working on some of those products too. And not because I'm quote, worried about toxins, even though there's plenty of stuff in the environment that's become escalated by our creating through resistance. Of course, law of attraction is a thing. It's a thing. And we can have stuff that I just prefer to I want a little less of artificial stuff. I'm not afraid of it. I know how to transmute it, but I also know how to, again, work with science. That's the whole point about modern alchemy. There's plenty of good stuff out there if you understand how to work with the compounds and just bring together the right people with the right intention and then start to just envision that what we previously identified as quote a negative, like, okay, a little less of that, a little more of this. And then from that come all of this next step and next phases. That's really what it is truly saying when these channels say raise your vibration. Let go of fear, even though fear is a great quantum mechanic and it's just an energy, it's a potent energy. But you can focus less on it. You can just choose a little more joy. You know,
Yes,
Pharma did
definitely.
a lot of stuff really well. And I'm going to say again, I mean that. Pharma has done a lot of stuff really well because for the people who choose to rely on that system and have trust and faith in it, and all the thousands and millions of people who have been invested in taking their heart and their drive and their reason for being in those industries, they're showing up every day with the best of who they are.
Yes,
It's yes, is there greed? Is there corruption? Are there all kinds of things? Sure. And the more we focus on it, the more we'll see it, the more it will show up in our experience. Or we say, cool, don't forget, if we're all really part of the same and there's value to all of it, and for the person that may not watch this and may not know what aromatherapy is, and they break a bone, thank God we have great hospitals and we have really good doctors who are caring. And let's not throw the baby out with the bathwater.
exactly. There's room for everything really, and even those not so beneficial experiences, they're there to teach us a lesson. So actually, in the long run, they're benevolent for our growth.
Right. And you've been putting together people and supporting that energy and doing work in your corner of the world. And it's just that benevolence is going to continue to expand. Our wisdom is going to continue to expand. There are so many of us having these conversations on a constant basis. You know, people that I love, like Ginger's Liberty Lounge, and I just adore her. And our friends Mark Z and Sky. And, you know, there are lots of really beautiful people out there sharing and inspiring and offering the truest understanding of what benevolence really is. And it starts from just within your own being. Are you happy this morning? Did you wake up wanting to make a difference? Are you taking care of yourself enough in a way on a foundational level that you can have enough energy to bring more of that into the world? I know you are. I know I am. I know so many of our friends are doing that, you know? So we are already in the being and the doing of it. We really are. We're all humanitarians. We really, really are. And I wanted these products available because I just want to support more of that energy. It makes me happy to do that. Yeah.
Absolutely. Brilliant.
So that's what I'm doing, babe. That's what I'm doing. And I'm going to keep
Good.
doing
Keep going. Keep up the brilliant work. So, Shira, if people wanted to contact you or look at a website or find out more, how can they find you?
Well, the website is shirasynergy.com. Uh, that's my regular name, Shira, with the word synergy next to it, one word.com. I'm on social. The accounts are on Facebook and Instagram at Shira Synergy. That's the products, all the product information and videos and all kinds of fun stuff. The sale codes, when they go up, they're all over those sites. And at the one Shira Adler, because there is someone else with my name. We're both in New York. So to differentiate, I am at that's THE, numeral one, and my full name. So there are two different accounts. I believe I'm also on TikTok under that. Hopefully, I don't know if it's banned, if it's not banned, whatever. For right now, there's that as well. And website, social media, and of course, here on YouTube or anywhere that you find our videos, that's at Synergy Show. I'm very excited about that because I have some really cool interviews coming up that will be part of the new Fempreneur Focus corner and all kinds of fun stuff. And just more of what we do right now.
And of course, he will be on the Finder project.
That's find-a-project.com. So all of our content and teachings and the mantras, in fact, I'll make sure that you have that right away, because even without the sprays, I think that things that people can do easily and quickly with whatever tools they already have at home, sure, yeah, let's just put it out and share it.
Exactly.
Share it. So I'm so grateful that I got to know you personally, met you a couple of years ago. I loved your work. I was quiet watching for a long time on the HumaniPro before it became the benevolent communities and all of that. And you're just such an inspiration. And I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful that you exist and that you're my friend. And I love you so much. I can't wait to come visit and give you a big hug in person, because a lot of my closest friends I never get to see, no, let me rephrase that. I have yet to meet in person or spend quality
Brilliant.
time with in person.
Yes. Brilliant. Thank you very much, Shira. And we shall see you soon, and all the best with your projects. And, if people want to contact Shira, I'm sure there'll be the information under this video, wherever it goes. And yes, blessings, and have a wonderful, productive new year.
Thank you, love. Absolutely. And again, we'll have a lot more information about the bigger projects coming up, because they do involve concerts and agritech and a whole ecosystem. But this is where we start. This is where we start, where we already are, what we already have done, and we grow. So,
Brilliant.
want hemp, if you love natural products, vibrational wellness, please get in touch with me.
Brilliant. Thank you.